Virtual learning object based on strategies for developing listening and speaking skills. Resource presentation. In this virtual learning object, we will find different tips based on the design of activities that strengthen listening skills for virtual environments, as well as the design of activities focused on speaking for face-to-face environments. Objectives: to promote through the design of educational materials English speaking skills such as listening and speaking, developing its main linguistic function that allow the student to adapt to a virtual or face-to-face environment. To propose from my own experience as a teacher in training the design of material according to virtual or face-to-face environment, taking into account listening and speaking skills in the English language. Listening materials. Tips for face-to-face environment. Activities that incorporate ascending and descending process communication. In other words, activities that have a process and start from basic to complicated topics. Download audios in the available classroom device that are according to the level of the students and focus on a language used in real life. These are important because they allow students to acquire a lot of vocabulary. Applying the classroom interactive activities of student interests such as videos, movies, radio, broadcasts. This creates an interest in the students to learn. Prepare activities such as stories, tests, news, where the student has the opportunity to summarize them or tell in his own words what he understands. This will not only allow them to improve their listening skills, but will also help them in the reading comprehension. Listening to the teacher's direction. The direction can be questions from the teacher, direction for games, or instruction for homework. The indications are very important so that the students not only complees with what the teacher asks for, but at the same time allows him to familiarize himself with the English language by understanding the instruction. Tips: online environments. Understanding audios through only books, use of resources such as audiobooks. The audios present in online books are not only useful for improving listening skills but also for the learning to identify different verbs tense. Listening to live songs from a website. This is an interactive way of learning the English language and can be of great interest to the students. Propose activities with funny only advertisement. This can be interesting for the student and a new activity for them. Activities through the back-out method that strengthen listening skills. This is a method based on reading poetry online, which undoubtedly focuses on listening skills. Recreation of a recording through a dialogue. No doubt, it is an excellent activity that allows students to improve their reading comprehension and will allow them to acquire new vocabulary. Speaking materials. To carry out activities that involve the artistic development of students by putting into practice speaking through poetry or singing. Encouraging English through recreational activities allows students to learn in a different way and feel more interest in the language, as well as to develop other skills outside the subject. Provide a space for feedback among students using the foreign language. This is important to improve students with space for interaction and self-analysis. This activity is perfect for students to know their shortcomings in the language and at the same time practice their speaking. Exercise such as role play with the use of vocabulary focused on a real environment. Role plays allow the acquisition of vocabulary and interaction among students. Activities about affection and creativity. This type of activities are necessary for the students because it increases their learning and allows them to learn English from another context or activities. And finally, encourage the use of English words and phrases in the classroom, recitation of vocabulary list. Tips for online environments. Speak with native English teacher online. This is an activity that allows teacher-student interaction and facilitates the acquisition of fluency in speaking. Singing songs in English through different online platforms. This activity is very simple and can be very interesting for the students, especially teenagers. Recording videos where students talk about different topics. It allows the student to acquire new language skills and practice speaking and pronunciation. Conduct online debates. This is an activity through which the student acquires different English speaking skills such as fluency, as well as a good exercise to know the student's weakness and strengths. Strength speaking skills through weekly focus meetings centered in different topics. These meetings not only allow the practice of speaking, but also the development of factors such as improvisation and not memorization of the English language. Conclusion. It can be concluded that the use of educational materials to strengthen the previously mentioned skills, listening and speaking, play a very important role in both face-to-face and virtual environments, being reinforced by such a great instrument as the technology. The purpose of these materials is to cover the different learning styles of the students, since they contain a variety of activities designed for any level and age of the learning. Activities must be adapted and planned before being applied to students to achieve the main or final goal, which is the learning and motivation of a student. It is essential to recognize the importance of creating activities in which students feel safe and confident.